So there it was, all these, my body was going through major shock, and I totally identified myself with my physical body and what I could accomplish with that. So here I'd lost, all of that. Couldn't poo on my own, couldn't pee, couldn't move hardly anything. And Helen helped me get through those 2 weeks. She didn't lay any of her anger on me or any of that. So that was very gracious of her, very kind. And then I flew back to Kingston. By that time I'd stabilized enough. They'd put a metal frame, a halo it's called. You might have seen them. They're a big circular metal ring. They screw them into your skull here, back here. And that hurt. They screwed it right in. The skulls, I could feel. And it was like, here I'm broken. I can't feel from here down, my neck down. But the rest of me is absolute agony. How can I be in so much agony? When I'm paralyzed. And I was on a stretcher, and I must have looked just terrible. I've seen photos of me, some photos just wasted away. Hal and I went in the hospital, and there's all my family and friends waiting for me. Oh God, what a shock. Anyhow, there they all were, like 30, 40 people. It was just, blew me away. So that's what really kept me going that next year. 7 months at KGH and 4 months at St. Mary's was my friends. They would come every weekend. One of them would come and take me back to their homes and for 2 days look after me, and when I get out of the hospital. And the weekends are horrible in hospitals because nothing's going on, so everything weighs in on you. But Helen, I think within a couple of days of being back here in Kingston, it was too much for her. I saw her once or twice in the hospital, and I never saw her again. She left me, understandably, because I basically left her. And so we talked about making a go of it, but I think both of us knew this is too much. Nobody signed on for this. So I didn't see her again, and that wasn't unexpected. My friends were coming in on weekends. I was going through a hell with physically just burning pains and crazy sweats and learning. It took me 3 months. It was September before I could sit up, upright in a wheelchair. So 3 months. Most of that, my memories were getting a lot of sunshine out on the patio, the bottom of the rehab ward. And boy, there were a lot of broken necks that summer. At one point, I think there was 11 spinal cord injury in a 20-bed unit. So there were lots of us. I wasn't alone, and I still have friends from that time. But everything had changed. My identity was gone. This man who was independent, travel around the world, build log houses, hold down jobs, had great relationship. Well, none of that was true anymore. So I had no idea what was going to happen. And I was really scared, and I was pretty suicidal from early on there, I think, because I just didn't want to live. I remember my rehab doctor, Dr. Symington. He was my rehab doctor. I told him I wanted to cut my legs off because they were useless. And he said, okay, well, it'll be a lot of medical care, it can be done. He said, but you won't have any upper balance, and you'll have to have a chest strap around you for the rest of your life. And I talked to him for about 3 times saying that. And then when he finally did give me the full picture, I realized, oh no, I'll keep my legs. And I realized I never wanted them off. But I was so angry. Because all I could do was do this. The only thing I could be angry at was my body. I couldn't be angry at anyone else for going out there climbing. And I couldn't. And it got so, like I was getting quite depressed, working hard in the rehab, but it was all very painful. No idea what I'm going to do later on, how I'm going to live on the outside. But I couldn't express that anger or depression with friends because they drove 40 miles to see me. I couldn't let that out. And I couldn't let it out with family because, they'd already done so much to help me out. And they all lived from Toronto, further west, so I never did see much of them after that immediate time because it was just too far. And it was probably just as well because it would have probably reminded me even more of what had been to what was no longer. And I couldn't get angry at staff because they were the ones who got me out of bed, helped me eat. And even though some of them weren't very good staff, that's who you had, so I had to make the most of it, stay on the good side.
Put your heart in every day. Everybody lost and found. Well, they say you learn a lesson every day.